All right, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's out there staying high speed and motivated and accomplishing their goals, whatever they may be. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that I have been getting asked about pretty often recently, mostly by those that are looking to join the Army here soon, and that is the U.S. Army's Future Soldier Preparatory Course, specifically the fitness track. The Army recently introduced this course as a way to help new recruits meet fitness standards before officially starting their fitness journey. They started this course, I want to say, about 2 years ago now. So it's been 2 years since we've seen this course come to fruition. In regard to the course itself, the questions that I've been getting have been questions like, do I think the course is going to be beneficial for those looking to join the Army? Do I think the course actually works? Does it actually help those people looking to join the Army actually lose the weight they need to go off to basic training? And then I also get asked about it often from currently serving service members who are asking me my opinion on it and whether or not I think it's a good idea for the force or if it's actually providing positive results, the kind that we actually need for a good, sustainable fighting force in the Army. I don't know a whole lot about the course, but I did a little bit of research before making this video, so I do have a good understanding of what we're getting into here. And I also have a good video that we're going to watch that is from U.S. Army TRADOC, which is Training and Doctrine Command. They're the ones that actually put this course together and are currently implementing the course today. So let's go ahead and watch the video and let's see what we got.
It has been 1 year since the Army established the Future Soldier Preparatory Course, helping prospective soldiers overcome physical and academic barriers to service and meet or exceed the Army's enlistment standards. Over the past year, more than 12,300 students have attended the course, with more than 8,800 already graduating and moving on to basic combat training. Students in the academic track have increased their
So that's pretty good numbers, right? So roughly 3 out of every 4 candidates that show up, students that show up and complete the Future Soldier Prep course, graduate and move on to basic training. I'd say that's pretty good. That's a good investment.
ASVAB score by an average of 18.5 points, while students in the fitness track are losing an average of 1.7% body fat each.
Okay. 1.7% body fat loss each week. That's a lot of body fat loss. That's let me do some quick beer math here. So let's just take a 200-pound person. Let's say they're at a BMI at about 28%, which puts them in the overweight category, not quite obese, as you know, according to WHO, right? That means they would not meet the Army standard of weight no matter what their age range was. So they're busting weight right off the bat, so they can't join up. But either way, if that person lost 1.75% of their fat, that would be, quick beer math, like somewhere around 3 pounds of weight loss in a week. And that is a lot of weight loss, right? I would say that's definitely not normal. I would say typically the agreed upon healthy range of weight loss, or at least body fat percentage loss per week, is somewhere around 5% to 1% being like the high range. But I guess there's 2 factors you got to consider into that. They could be gaining muscle at the same time they're losing fat, which would be ideal. But in this case, that means they would have had to gain, I don't know, 1 to 2 pounds of muscle and lose a pound of fat at the same time in 1 week. Highly unlikely. What's more likely, and again, this is just beer math, I might have to think on this more. You guys correct me if I'm wrong on this. What's more likely is that they probably have some obese to severely obese students in there that are losing poundage like that every week because they have so much more to lose. And if they're going on a strict diet, strict fitness regimen, they're going to lose a lot more, a lot faster weekly than somebody who is just slightly overweight or somebody who's slightly not meeting the standard. So the people that are slightly not meeting the standard are probably not losing 1.7% body fat percentage per week, but the ones that are severely overweight probably are. And maybe they're just, they're kind of tilting the scales to a certain way where the average loss per week comes out to that 1.7%. But that's kind of like that's a pretty high number to just be thrown out there, I guess.
Each week. Both tracks have a graduation rate of 95%, and to date, graduates have received more than $15.5 million in bonuses.
Okay, so again, the graduation rate is 95%, right? Maybe, so if you look at the top, 12,300 students 8,800 students already graduated. That does not equate to 95%. I guess it just depends on how many classes they have going on at any time. But that math doesn't math, I don't think. But maybe they just have students that are currently in the course as they're making this video who have just not quite met that graduation yet. And then $15.5 million in bonuses. I would say that's money well spent as long as the newly graduated students, and who are now most likely soldiers in the Army, continue to maintain this new way of life that they've learned through this course. They continue to perform well, they keep their fitness levels up, they're healthy, and they give back to the Army, at least evenly what they're receiving from the Army, at least evenly, then I think it's a good investment. What do you guys think on that?
I joined the Army because I wanted a new experience and also to better myself both physically and mentally.
I kind of suck at taking tests. I get nervous and things like that. It kind of put pressure on me.
I'm actually an example of someone who didn't lose any weight but lost body fat percentage and inches.
Okay, so she's probably I'm just gonna cut her off real quick. She's probably gonna say she gained muscle, lost fat, which is great. That's really what you want to do in most cases. So that just tells me that this must be some pretty effective training if that's what's happening.
So they tell you right off the bat it's not a weight loss program, and that's true.
I started my ASVAB score with a 38 and my MOS was 91 Bravo, which is a wheeled mechanic. I was able to increase my score by a 90, and I changed my job to a 68 Whiskey, which is a combat medic, and had a bonus of 7,500 with airborne school.
I have seen positive results. I've lost an inch of my waist. I lost about like 10 pounds, and I feel like I'm constantly getting stronger every day.
See now, and no, I'm not trying to single anybody out or pick on this fine student here, this fine future soldier, but I will say I think it's fair to assume that the majority of future, or the students, I guess they're calling them the students, the hopeful future soldiers, are definitely in the overweight category, if not in the obese category. So for him to lose 10 pounds already, and he's still going, I don't know how much longer he has, but that was within 30 or 90 days at least, right? He still has some time to go. This must be a pretty effective program. That's a pretty good weight loss program if he's already lost 10 pounds and an inch off his weight.
Not only does it teach you about fitness and nutrition, but also like how to address drill sergeants, just how to be a soldier versus a civilian.
I feel good, I feel accomplished. After being here for about 4 months, I feel like this is something that's really good for me and that I improved a lot over these last 4 months, from being in the civilian world to the Army world.
Sets you up with literally the formula for success. You just have to be open-minded and trust yourself and do it.
I would tell them if they have any doubts about joining, to ask themselves, do they not want to join because they know they can't do it, or because they're comfortable in where they are now and don't want to take up the challenge?
Okay, so I think that was a pretty good video, right? I'm not too sure about some of the numbers there, but I'm sure that they are calculated correctly. They just might mean some different things than what they're representing. But overall, good. That gave me a pretty good understanding on what the course is trying to achieve, what they seem to be achieving, and what it's doing for those that are actually wanting to join the Army but just aren't quite hitting the standard because they just don't have the knowledge on how to get fit, how to lose the weight, or high school failed them and they just couldn't pass the ASVAB. That's on the academic track. If you guys want me to dive deeper into the academic track of this, please just let me know. Drop in, yeah, I want to know more about the academic side of things in the comments. I'll make sure to make a video on that as well. But overall, it seems like this is a pretty good investment for the Army. I think most of you that are watching this right now have seen, or at least are aware of, the issues that the Army specifically has been facing with recruiting lately. And a lot of it stems from the available pool of qualified applicants in the United States. I think, last time I checked, this wasn't long ago, like a month ago, it was less than 25% of available candidates would even qualify for Army service right off the bat. And that doesn't even take into account the ones that actually want to join. That's just like based on their qualifications as an individual, less than 25%. Doesn't even mean they actually want to join or not. So the percentage is even less than that. It's apparent that the Army has to do something in order to mitigate that problem, because apparently there's definitely people out there that want to join the Army. They're just not meeting the Army standard, but they're willing to do what it takes to change and adapt to what the Army needs them to be, even if it takes some extra time. Obviously, there's some bonuses involved, which is always a good incentive for people as well, right? I'd be lying if I said that money wasn't a good thing for me sometimes, right? Bonuses are a good thing as long as it's a worthy investment. And it seems to me, based on some of the research I've done and based off what the students have said in that video, that they are learning lifelong lessons that are going to take them throughout not just their time in service, but beyond that as well. So no matter what, it seems like it's a good thing, right? It seems good to me. So what I would say, if you are somebody who is looking at joining the Army, right, and you are overweight or obese, then definitely look at going into this. I don't know what would hold you back from doing something like this. I don't know if there's other qualifications that you have to meet in order to even get into this program. I assume it's other basic things like, you can't have a felony, you can't have certain misdemeanors, you can't have a certain criminal record, this, that, and the other things that wouldn't get you into Army service in general. But if you're having issues with fitness, weight, or academia, this could be the solution for you. And I think it's definitely worth a try, right? If you're somebody who really wants to join the Army and you'll do whatever it takes to get in there, go do it. This seems like it's only going to make you better, this program. Now, for my active duty soldiers or even my veterans out there, I'm sure you are full of your own opinions on this. I'm curious on what you think based on the video I just showed you and the things that I've just said. I'm curious on what your thoughts are on all of this. I think it's fair to assume that some of you are going to say, wow, the Army is getting really soft. They're coddling new recruits now with this fitness stuff. But I mean, it's, we live in a different day and age. And while I can understand that argument, right, I kind of see what you're getting at. We grew up in a different Army. I got all that. We don't even need to dive into it on this video. But if we only have a certain amount of people from our population to draw service members from, and the ones that actually want to join are having issues meeting the initial criteria to actually join, but they want to fix it, is it really a problem to have a Army sponsored program that they can go into to get the knowledge, get the discipline, get the learning required to meet those standards, now take all that to basic training and go on and hopefully serve successfully? I don't see an issue with that. That seems like something we should be spending money on and resources on and time on. To me, that seems like a step in the right direction to building a better Army profession. But those are just my thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to say on all this. Please go ahead and drop that in the comments. Ask me any other questions that you might have on this topic in the comments. I do try to read all the questions I can, so I'll do my very best to get back to you. Besides that, keep staying motivated, keep staying disciplined, and keep staying gritty. I will see you on the next one.